All right, back today again with transmission stuff I gotta figure out, or I already figured it out, I just gotta finish it now. So my friction plate was toast on my clutch flywheel. My clutch, every time I'd go from second up shift into third while drifting, it just wouldn't grab. Pressure plate didn't have enough oomph to grab on and hold and continue on, so it would start slipping a little bit. So I got with spec and I ordered a newer clutch. It's a same clutch I already had, but the newer one supposedly has 300 so pounds more clamp force, so went ahead and ordered that. And turns out when I took everything apart, my friction plate on my flywheel was a little toasty. Not really sure if you can see and hear all around through here. It's definitely got some glossing, some burn marks. I tried cleaning it up with a wire wheel just in case, but I went ahead and just ordered this new one straight from Drift HQ down in Florida. They ordered it from Poland from PMC Motorsport, and I'm gonna give a really big shout out to them because they couldn't get it fast enough for the event I have this coming weekend. So they went ahead and took a flywheel apart that they did have, sent me this ring, and then had that other ring sent back to them. So really big thank you to them to helping me get this going in time for this weekend, because I need to drive again. These Kenda tires are calling my name. But without any more time, I gotta go to work tonight. So I gotta get started here. I'm gonna set the camera up and just get to it. Here's the old one, all nice and crispy and all right, just like that. It is replaced. All the bolts are back in and nice and cross-hatched, no burn marks from the get-go. Just got to clean it off with some brake cleaner. Can't almost out. Most of this off, and I'll clean it again once it's actually in the car. That way, that'll be the last time I touch it. All right, now that's that. Now we need to get over here, throw the transmission back into the car, put the flywheel on, clean it again, and yeah, get to putting all this stuff back together. Hopefully I can get it all done today, drive it tomorrow and Saturday, and drive it hard on Sunday. But here's the transmission. It's already, I've done a lot of extensive work to this adapter plate. When they come from PMC, they're a full plate that matches the plate on the engine. I discovered time and time again, after taking this thing out so many times, with the 240 chassis, it's really hard to get the transmission out with the engine still in the car. So in order to prevent that, if I ever have to do trackside maintenance or whatever, I went ahead and cut a bunch of notches, and to make it to where it clears the floor well and all that stuff. And I drilled other holes so I can access the engine plate too. I did try to remove both of them at the same time last time. It worked, but I'd have to trim out that engine plate in order to make it work as well. But it has a bolt up here, and I'm not about to cut that out. So went ahead and took this plate off, bolted the other one up to the engine already, and now all I have to do is, like I said, get that together, put all this back in there, and yeah, sorry PMC if you're watching this, I cut up your beautiful adapter plate, but it wasn't working for me the way it was. Okay. Now, got this in here for the most part, and it's the same with it. The S chassis, you don't really have a lot of wiggle room. I still have to jack it up to get it all the way in here. But for now, we'll turn this around and work on this side of the engine. So, if any of you watched the last video, I blew the rear main seal. It I don't know, had too much crank pressure, but that thing was leaking when I put this engine in here. I should have just replaced it then. But I had this cover off my 6.0, so I just went ahead and replaced it. It's got a brand new seal in it. It looks to be sealed properly and no leaks. That's just some residual that was there. Yeah, all this is back together. This plate's on, sturdy. My engine, I had to drop the whole subframe 4 inches or so to get this down far enough to pull the transmission out. That's one reason I had to cut it. You can see here, this is what I was talking about with the top plate. This and this right here, when you're removing this together with that other adapter plate, this whole plate hits this part of the chassis, and there's no way to, I managed last time, but I had to like turn it sideways and put some pressure on the pressure plate. It was just not a good thing. So to ensure that it goes back together smoothly, we're just going to go ahead and do it this way. Now, on these, use your factory automatic GM flex plate. It still has oil all over it. Flex plate goes on first, and then the flywheel goes on after it. That way you can still reuse the OEM starter location, all of that. Put this cardboard down so I didn't get oil in my hair, but that's still gonna happen. All right. There. And you line your holes up. grab one of your bolts. Of course, Loctite it. Might need to run to the store and get more Loctite. Alright, had to get a little creative and cut this thing open so I can go ahead and get this stuff done today, because I don't have time to run in town and get more of this when I have to be at work in 4 hours. And I have a lot of work to do today. Alright, now get more brake cleaner. Let's see if I can get some paper towels and clean all this stuff off. Well, no more brake cleaner. Used it all. But in case you guys didn't know, isopropyl alcohol, same shit. Alright. Now that it smells like a doctor's office, let's go get the clutch. That is my weird pregnant dog, Leia. I don't know what she's doing. She's barking at something. It might quite possibly be the air. But here we are, clutches. Now, this is my old clutch. This is the one that would not handle what it needed to. It was a stage 4 spec, supposed to support 517 foot-pounds of torque, but more than likely that's close to what this engine's putting down at the flywheel, of course. You see all the dark spots, all the glossiness, and then the pressure plate itself, it just wasn't holding up. A little dirty now, but it's black and blue and scarred up. So move that out of the way. This is the new one. Now, this disc itself has multiple plates. I don't know if that was to help with flex, since it's a solid piece. It might have been flexing under when it was being pressed in, allowing the pads to slip. I don't know, it's supposed to be a revised version, so hopefully that itself will fix that problem. And then on the pressure plate itself, you can see here these springs, they're a little bit thicker and more, a little round there. On these, they're a little bit flat and kind of thin. So I was thinking that maybe these are just stronger. I don't know. When you look at both clutches, they look identical really, other than the clutch disc itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this set up down in there. I've got to get my other clutch alignment tool. Look, it's a 2J or 1J. This clutch alignment tool had to electrical tape the end here because the PMC pilot bearing is a little bit thicker than the BMW one that's supplied with it. So that's down there. Grab this. You can see here how low the engine has to go in order to get that stuff. Luckily, everything clears with it still attached. So literally all I had to do is undo the water hose line from up here. That one's actually still there, but it's got plenty of flex, so it's not pulling the hose out at all. Everything else just drops right down. Take the intake off and yeah, good to go. Clutch disc. It's dirty down here, so I don't want to do that. Get this and this flywheel side. There we go. Voila. Perfect. Alright, it's time to get to this. I always take a little bit high temp grease. I put it on these dowel pins. Because if not, they will be impossible. To get where they need to go. And also, just a tad bit more, not very much, on the input shaft itself, and not my side skirt. just like that, it's another day altogether. Camera died yesterday, so I don't know, kept working. Went ahead, took the liberty of putting everything back together. Drive shaft's in, all the wires are connected. I do need to plug this on. It's just a coolant vent. All the lines are tightened, ran. All this stuff's good to go. Transmission, drive shaft, all that stuff's in there. Oil filter, oil's in the engine. Map sensor's plugged up. We are going to fire it up and see if it's leaking. If not, see if the clutch works. If that's all good, then she'll be good to go. If not, I have one more day to get everything fixed, finished, and ready for Sunday. So yeah, let me put this camera down or do something else with it and get back to work. Okay, let's see here. Oh, stickers, look at them, fancy. All right, now we need to get most of this stuff just out of the way. Coffee shop, calm the nerves. We got power. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna prime the system a few times. No leaks. Do it again. We've got 60 pounds in the pressure regulator, which means it's made it all the way through the rails. It's time to fire it up and make sure maybe. All right, fire it up, make sure she doesn't leak. Whew. She runs. Sounds healthy. No leaks. Got to finish up a few things. I got to put a hose clamp on this. It's, you know, not tight. Clutch does need to be bled again. It's not a, it's really soft and it's not really engaging or disengaging. You can slide it into first and the wheels just start spinning even the clutch and put in. Other than that, we should be good to go. Lee's truck's still here, so which means he's got to come over here today so he can get his truck to go to work. But when he does, I will get the clutch re-bled, put it on the ground, and yeah, make sure she drives, and then drive it around a bunch tomorrow. Stop and go. The clutches say they got 500 miles to put into the clutch in order to make it break in properly, but it's gonna get like, I don't know, 100 stop and goes down this road, and then we'll send it. But anyways, until I get everything else done, I'll let you guys go for now. Okay, I lied. Still have more to do. The engine's fine, other than the trans needing to be bled. But so it turns out this weekend the event I'm doing needs a minimum of a 5-pound fire extinguisher. That's an ABC. That's a 3-pound BC. That's not what they want. So I bought another one. I did find a 5-pound after all. Turns out Lowe's has them. So yeah, I need to take that one out, put the other one in, and go from there. And I gotta put a battery tie down in. I've got one. I just gotta do all the work. I don't know about you guys, but after putting so many hours into this, it gets tiresome. But anyways, so what's cool about these race cars, these doors open a million miles. That's really nice. That's out. Take those screws out. What I did with my screwdriver. I don't know. I have a very bad problem about losing tools that I just used. I try to keep them all together, but that doesn't happen like ever. So, coffee. Oh, I know where it's at. It's in here. All these fumes. Here we go. Alright, this is the new fire extinguisher. Haven't even opened it yet. It does come with a plastic bracket. I might need to use this, but I actually ordered a metal one for that fire extinguisher that didn't fit. But this is a smaller diameter, so that actually might work for this one. I think it's the same brand and everything. Let's see here. Look at that. Now that I got bent whenever I was trying to put it on the other one. You get the general idea. That's how it's going to sit. So now, let's put it in here. Take this one out. There's so many holes in this trans tunnel. All the different locations for the handbrake. Back there, I welded those mounts in for the AccuSump, but I didn't want any hot oil in here, so I scratched that idea. It's one thing after another with this thing. Come on, there you go, snap. There we go. I guess Lee can use this. There's the one I used to put his fire out. Alright, figure out a way to mount this. This needs to go roughly here. Give plenty of room for the seat. Yep. So somewhere right in this vicinity. I can reuse that hole that's already there. Is this the proper way to do this? No, probably not. But I'm on a timeline. So I was gonna rivet them in. The only rivets I have are 1/8 inch, and I don't have an 1/8 inch drill bit, and I don't want to run into town to get one. So run back over here. Hey, look, more 1J. Drill bits in this box. I do have an 1/8 inch. Look at that. Well, punch the hole with this one. Ow. This little thing's torquey. Believe it or not, I found this at a really good deal. Free. Probably need to go bigger. That's done. Goes there. My arms are completely dead from maneuvering that transmission. I need to go to the gym. Sits there like so. It'll go like that and that, and voila. Do need to flatten this back out though, because I bent the crap out of it trying to. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. And it's in there, not going anywhere. Awesome. That's really awesome. Make sure. And actually, 4.8. That's close enough. All right, done. Now, tighten some suspension stuff up. Make sure all the bolts are tightened, and then I will be good to go. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I will just end the video here. And if I can drive it today, I will get more video of that and just throw it at the end of this. And yeah, hopefully she runs and drives and drifts and doesn't break again, because I'm tired of fixing that.